Every so often, a book comes along that's more than just a bestseller. It becomes a full-blown cultural event. Today we're diving into one of those, a thriller that has captivated millions and has absolutely everyone talking.
And here it is, The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This thing is, well, it's a gripping mystery for sure, but it also weaves together incredible family drama, a bit of historical fiction, in a setting that honestly feels like a character all on its own. It's the book you're seeing everywhere, and trust me, there's a very good reason for that.
And the buzz? Oh, it is real. I mean, we're not just talking a New York Times bestseller. It won the Goodreads Award for Mystery and Thriller. It got an Edgar Award nomination. And hey, it's been spotted with everyone from Taylor Swift to Barack Obama. Plus, with a Netflix series on the way, you gotta ask, right? What makes this book so special?
Well, it all starts with a vanishing at a summer camp. But this isn't just any simple case. It's a mystery that unfolds over decades, and it's all rooted in a really dark family history.
The bed is empty. I mean, what a chilling way to start a book, right? That's the very first line. We're in the summer of 1975, and a camp counselor makes this absolutely horrifying discovery. 16-year-old Barbara Van Laar is just gone. And as you can imagine, her disappearance throws the entire community into total chaos.
So, the whole story is set at this place called Camp Emerson, which is owned by the very wealthy Van Laar family. Right next to the camp, you've got their massive estate, which is named Self-Reliance. And all of this is plopped right in the middle of the Adirondack woods, which are so vast and imposing, they really do feel like a character in the story.
But here's where it gets even creepier. This isn't the first time this has happened to the family. 14 years before Barbara vanished, her older brother also disappeared, just gone, without a trace. So that's 2 kids from the same powerful family, just vanished. You can imagine the long shadow this history casts over the whole investigation. It just fuels all this suspicion and makes the tragedy that much deeper.
And this story is about so much more than just one family. Barbara's disappearance basically rips the cover off this entire community that's just been simmering with secrets and resentment for years.
I love this quote from the camp's director. It just perfectly captures how the book treats the forest. It's not just a backdrop, It's like this living, breathing thing. It can be beautiful, and it can be incredibly dangerous. It can be your friend, or it can be your enemy. And you really see how the characters' relationships with the woods mirror what's going on inside them.
And this really gets to the heart of the conflict. So on one side, you've got the super wealthy Van Laars. They own all the land, they own the camp. And on the other side, you've got the working class town of Shattuck. These are the locals, and a lot of them depend on the Van Laars for their jobs. That kind of power imbalance, it's basically a powder keg of resentment and buried secrets, which means, yeah, pretty much everyone is a potential suspect.
But look, this complicated social stuff is really just one layer. The God of the Woods is so much more than a simple whodunit. It's a really deep dive into these huge themes of power, grief, and what justice even means.
And one of the biggest ideas is literally hiding in plain sight. The family estate is called Self-Reliance. Why? Well, the family patriarch named it that because that's the one quality he wanted to instill in his kids and grandkids more than anything else.
So that leads to a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? I mean, with 2 of his descendants just vanishing into thin air, do you think he succeeded? The whole book is constantly poking at this idea of self-reliance, especially when you throw immense wealth and just unimaginable grief into the mix.
And the book goes even deeper. It gets into how money can corrupt people, how complicated grief really is, and of course, the absolutely devastating fallout from keeping secrets. It's just such a rich, layered story about how all these forces end up shaping who we are.
And with all these secrets flying around, it makes you wonder, can keeping a secret ever be justified? Because seriously, almost every single character in this book is hiding something, and it forces you, the reader, to wrestle with the moral gray areas of their choices.
So the story's impact doesn't just stop when you close the book. Nope. The journey is actually continuing, and it's heading for the screen in a way that has everyone talking.
That's right, Netflix is turning The God of the Woods into a series, and here's the best part, something that I know fans are gonna love. The author, Liz Moore, is one of the showrunners. That's huge because it pretty much guarantees the show will stay true to the heart of her incredible novel.
So the showrunners Liz Moore and Liz Hannah put out this quote about their approach, and what they said really gets to the core of why these characters are so compelling. They're complicated, they're flawed, they're so human. You just get drawn into their world, even when you're questioning every single move they make. And that brings us to one last thing to think about. Look, I'm not going to give anything away, but the ending of this book, it is not simple. It's not black and white. So we'll leave you with this final question to chew on. In the end, how is justice really served in this story? It's the kind of resolution that's going to stick with you for a long time after you finish that last page.